So today I'm going to be showing you how to shoot projectiles from something. Sadly, I don't have a gun or any sort of barrel to use for this, so we'll just be shooting it out of the character's chest. If you remember from last time, from the textual instruction video, all we're doing here is, we just got to move around forward, backward, forward, right, left. So we're just going to be adding the shooting function within this today. So what you're going to do is you're going to go up to File. Oh, nope. You're going to go into Edit, Project Settings. What we're doing right now is we're going to put in the input to actually allow him to shoot. So when we click something, it shoots it. So we'll just label this shoot, and then we will set this to, let's just say this space bar. Pretty easy. So now that we have that, remember, automatically save, so we can just exit out of that. So there's three things that you're going to need when you do this. We're going to put all the coding, all the blueprinting in the hero character, and then we're going to need a bullet, or the projectile itself, and then the material that goes over the projectile. And so first, let's just start with the projectile. So we're going to go to we're going to go to Add New. We're going to go to Blueprint Class. We're going to click on Actor. We're going to label this we're just going to label this projectile. So we have that. We're going to double click to open it up. Now that we have this open, there's going to be a few things we need in this. So first we need to add some sort of, we'll just do a static mesh. That way we can kind of give it, you can download a mesh or anything like that to add anything else, like say a bullet or anything like that to it. So we're just going to rename this bullet. We're going to need to add a collision sphere. That way the game can detect when it hits something. So we'll do sphere collision. We're going to put that underneath there. We're going to change the sphere radius of this to 10. And then one more thing we're going to need to add is the first let's add a point light to it, and then we'll put this underneath bullet as well. And then this, we're going to change the radius down to, let's just say 500, and then the intensity we're going to kick up to about 10,000. Nice bright light. The light color just depends on what color of laser you want, so I want mine to be red. So this is the easiest way to do it. Just click there. Then the light color will be red. Now when we go to bullet, we're going to zoom back in to get roughly to the size where we want. So like I said before, we can add any sort of static mesh. Like this is a pipe, pretty round spherical object. So what we're going to do here is we're just going to slim it down just a bit. We're just going to cut everything in half. Ooh, 0.5. And then with this point light, what we're going to do is we're going to drag it up. We're going to drag it up just over the actual sphere itself. So we're going to compile that, and then the last thing we need to add in here is a projectile movement. What this is going to do, this is actually going to give it the actual movement of it. So here we're going to set the initial speed to, let's say, 3,000. So that's good. And then actually there's one thing I forgot to do, and that's in the bullet. We're going to go down to, we're going to check off enable gravity. And besides that, everything should be good to go in here. So yet again, we're going to compile, save. That's all good there. So now we're going to go back to our main, our viewport. And then we're going to click on Add New. We're going to go to Material. We're going to name this, we'll name it Project Mat. So we're going to double click, open that. This is really, really simple. So we're going to left click, or right click, sorry. Then we're going to type in vector parameter. Oh, easiest way to do it actually is just search parameter and then go down to vector parameter right here. And so we don't really need to give this a name. If you want to give it a name, you can. So really what we're going to do here is we're going to divide the, oh no, we need to multiply it. So we're going to multiply this by another parameter value. That way we can change the intensity of the glow of the laser. That's what we're going to be doing right now. We're going to be giving it, the light's going to give some sort of glare, but then what this is really going to allow it to do is it's going to emit the color itself, and then it's going to allow for a much like brighter glow, give it more of like a laser feel. So we're just going to search parameter again, and then we're going to go into scalar parameter, and then in here I'm just going to set the default value to 10, and then up here we're going to change the on my vector parameter, we're going to change the actual color to red right there, and then we're going to change the saturation a little bit down to give it like that nice kind of glow. We're going to connect this node to emissive color because we want it to show out in the world, and see like how that's kind of like glowing like a laser would. So that's great. We're going to save that, and then what we're going to do is we're going to go back into projectile underneath bullet, so you click on bullet over here, and then we're going to go down to the materials for the bullet, and then what we're going to do is we're going to search project matte, and there it is right there. So now that the actual bullet has a material on it, so it has the nice red color. That way when we shoot it, it's not some white thing with some bright red light. Okay, now to the actual coding of it, or the blueprinting I should say. So first we're going to make one function, and the function itself, we're going to create a custom event. We're going to label this fire. So under fire, what we're going to do is we're going to spawn sound at location. No, we'll do spawn sound attached. What you're going to do here is you're just going to grab your mesh material, you're going to click it, and then you're going to drag it in, and then you're going to connect this mesh node to this add attached component node, and that way this is where the sound will actually project from. So if we click here, it doesn't really matter what sound you want. We're going to go with Fire 01 just because that'll get the most realistic like sound of a gun firing. Actually, I believe that's the like an actual fire. So we're going to change that to Explosion 1. And then we're going to, off the spawn sound attached node, we're going to drag down and we're going to put spawn actor from class. And with this, from this, what we're going to do is, well, first let's actually select which class we want to do. We want the projectile class one we just made, so we're going to click that. Click it to add it there. So now this is going to be spawning the projectile class whenever this function is called. So we're going to add where the actual projector will be. I did it in the test run, so it's right here, but you would click add component, and then you're going to type arrow, and then you'd click that. So I already did it, so I have it right here, and in the viewport it's just going to be this small little arrow right here. Let me drag it out so you can see. So that's where, that's where the projectile will actually shoot out of. Right here. So what we're going to do is we're going to push that back in about right there. It doesn't really matter because our camera's going to be behind us. So we're going to compile. Oh, we can't because we have errors. So we're going to go back to the event graph, and this is saying, because we didn't give it a place to actually spawn from. So we're going to click and grab your arrow that you just had, bring it out, and then we're going to type in get world transform. We're going to bring that out so we can actually see clearly. And then we're going to click and drag that and add it right there. Perfect. So you're connecting this transform with this transform. That way it knows where to actually spawn out of in the world. So we have that. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to actually put in the functionality behind clicking something and then, you know, it doing something. So with that, what we're going to do is we are going to call that input we put earlier for shooting the gun. So we're going to type shoot. And we have it right there. Perfect. And so with this, what we're going to do is, so first, we're going to type in do once. That way when we click this, it doesn't cycle through the process a whole bunch. It's only doing this once for one time we click it. And we're going to set, then we're going to call upon that fire function. So you're just going to type in fire, and then it's that function right here that we're calling upon. So every time we click the space bar, that's what we set it to. Then after this, we're going to set timer by function name. Where is it? Right here. Oh, nope. It's right here. Silly me. So we're going to set the timer by the function name, and the function name is this function right here. So we're going to say fire, or type in fire exactly how it's spelled below, or else it won't work. So here, this is going to determine how many shots you shoot per second, say if you're holding it down. So we're going to promote this. We're going to promote this to a variable. And we're going to title this variable. Let's do rounds per second. Okay, so actually if we want to make this, you know, an easy way to see this in the actual screen and, you know, change the amount, right now it's, well, let's compile first and then we'll get in here. Okay, so rounds per second, we want it to be 5 rounds a second, but right now the way it's set up is every 5 seconds you'll be allowed to do this. So the easiest way to change that is by dragging this off. We're going to do a dividing. We're going to do divide a float by a float. We're going to connect rounds per second here. We're going to change this to 1. That's the easiest way to make it so that you can just type in right here how many rounds you want per second. So right here, we're going to click, and we're going to clear the timer. So every time that it's released, we're going to clear the timer. So clear timer by function name. Remember, we had it set to fire. We're going to drag that out, bring that up here, and make it look nice and neat. Okay, and that should do it, I believe. Let's check, though. We have our projectile, we have our mat. Okay, so if we hit play, and then you'll see when we hit the space bar, we get that sound, we get the sound from the shot, and then the projectile actually goes about. Now the only issue right now is just hit escape to get out of that. The only issue right now is that the bullet is firing, or when it shoots out, it's lateral. We want it to be vertical. It's shooting out horizontal, and we want it to be vertical. So this is just a super, super, super easy change. You're just going to go in here. You're going to click on the bullet. You're going to hit the E. No, work with me. You're going to hit the E button. Yep. You're going to rotate it 90 degrees to the side. That way now, when we shoot it, it goes perfectly straight out. So it's beautiful. We can move around. See if we hold it down. Shoot it twice. Perfect. So that is how you can shoot a projectile out of something. There's a lot of things you can do with this. You can actually say if your character, your model has a gun, you know, you can set it to there, like that socket point. You can do all sorts of stuff. You can change the projectile shape. You can add a trail behind it. You can do all sorts of things. It's actually a lot of fun. But that's it for now. Play with it, mess with it, have fun. All right, thanks guys. Bye.